Hi everyone, welcome back to Mary's little house. Angel's here. You never saw Angel before. He's a purebred Bichon Frise. She's very old, like me, and so she doesn't have that Bichon Frise look anymore, but she's still very dear to us. Let me see if I could get her. This is Angel Pie right here. She's very precious. She's the baby cakes, Cindy used to call her. Angel. Angel, that's her name. Oh, you met Peanut already. Peanut's always stealing the show, the spotlight. He charms everybody he meets. Angel, she's living a quiet life on her pillow in my bedroom and listening to me. Here comes Peanut here wanting to get into the show. Anyway, I wanted, today's the first Friday of the month, and every first Friday we think of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, who showed his heart to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque. And he said, he held his heart out to St. Margaret and said, "Behold this heart that has loved man so much and has received so little love in return." And he encouraged St. Margaret Mary Alacoque to have a holy hour, especially on Thursday nights, to make reparation for people who don't adore our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament, or people who might be irreverent, maybe careless, or people, oh God forbid, who might commit a sacrilege with our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament. So he called St. Margaret Mary and all of us to make reparation for the lack of love he receives in the world. And at that time when Miss Margaret Mary lived, the people were sort of cold in their religion. They thought they had to go to confession every time they went to communion. Now, of course, we have to go to confession when we're in serious sin, but not every time. But if we're only in venial sin or faults of our life, we don't have to go every time we receive communion. And then people put off confession. They waited till they do their Easter duty, and so they went once a year and all that, not frequent like we're doing today. And the kids had to wait until they were 12 or 13. Thank God for St. Pius X, who gave me and most of our generations that are living now, that we could receive him when we're about 7 years old, or the age of reason or discretion. But anyway, that's what First Friday's all about. And every month we have the First Fridays of the month. And all the promises of the nine First Fridays is there. But the main thrust of all of this is making reparation, making up for the lack of love shown maybe by ourselves, God forgive us, but by others of Jesus present in the most blessed sacrament. In a few minutes after this recording, I'll be heading to a chapel across town in Belleville, Illinois, to St. Teresa's, and to the Adoration Chapel there. They have adoration, perpetual adoration, 24/7, and it's marvelous. And my hour is 8 to 9 on Fridays. I try to do a daily adoration up at the shrine of Our Lady of the Snows, our Lord present in the tabernacle. But here in St. Teresa's in Belleville, they have adoration by exposition. Jesus is in the large host in what we call a monstrance. Monstrare means to show, a monstrance. A beautiful display thing that has the host in there, gold and rubies and all that, because Jesus is King, He's God, He deserves all our love, all our reverence, all our everything, So anyway, so I'm heading that way. And someone emailed me and said, "Jim, why don't you talk about Eucharistic adoration?" Well, I'm so excited to say that. That was a wonderful idea. It's catching, people all over the United States and the world, I was in France in the Sacré-Cœur on Montmartre. They have adoration all the time too. This great basilica dominating all of Paris. Beautiful white basilica. All the artists paint that in Montmartre. That's where all the artists hang up there around Sacré-Cœur. And they had adoration there. People there all night, all day. One time I went there. I was lost in Paris, and I ended up in Montmartre there in the middle of the night. And there they were praying for the Blessed Sacrament. People from all over the world and all over Paris. Well, anyway, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the Eucharistic Adoration. St. John Marie Vianney, Curé of Ars, saw this man every day sitting in church. He didn't have a prayer book, didn't do anything except look at the tabernacle. And the curé said, "Well, what are you doing, sir? I notice you're here, and that's very nice." And he says, "Well, I look at him, Jesus, in the tabernacle, and he looks at me." And the curé of ours, St. John Marie Vianney, said, was very touched by that. He got to the point where words were not necessary. Like married couples get to that point. It's marvelous. They're just sitting in each other's presence. Sitting, looking at each other, loving each other in that presence, giving themselves by being present to the other, and enjoying the presence of the other, and giving letting them enjoy the other's presence, each other's presence. So that's what Eucharistic adoration is. Now, sometimes people use a book, and books of spiritual reading is very important for prayer. We say it's the kindling, the coal that you put in the furnace, the wood, to get our hearts going, so we can have holy thoughts. And then, but it's only that. It's a means. So when you bring a book, and there are beautiful prayers about adoration, that's wonderful. Do that. But don't stay there. When something hits you, when something strikes you, and stop there and talk to Jesus about it. Talk to him about it. Share what you're feeling about it, and that gets started. There, the fire, the conversation, the union starts that way. So now we notice even in Saint Peter Julian Eymar, the great apostle of Eucharistic adoration, he would chide his people, but he noticed they come in and just read all during adoration. He says, "Well, you don't go to a friend's house and he answers the door and you sit down and read a book about him. No, you talk to him. You don't read a book about him. That would be very maybe strange, to say the least. But so we're there to be with Jesus, to have a conversation with Jesus, to have a relationship with Jesus. Cindy, the foundress of Mother of God Ministries, she used to call adoration the spousal time. Spouse. Jesus is the divine lover. He's the divine bridegroom, and we are his beloved. And that's a time when, par excellence, to sit and be with the one who loves us the most, and just to share our lives and to just be there. After a while, it's very hard to read anything. It's very hard to say anything. You just want to be with the one you love, and he with the one, and he to just be there. I think that like the host there is like a sun tanning us like on the skin, but sun tanning our souls, filling them with new strength, new gifts, new love. I think of Jesus. I have a prayer. I've been trying to figure out how best to say it, but Jesus' Eucharistic heart is there in the sacred host. And I say, Eucharistic heart of Jesus, throbbing with love for me in the sacred host, make my heart beat with adoring love for thee. I love that because he's beating, his heart is beating there. We know that in the host and is his real body, blood, soul, and divinity, not just part of him, but his whole being. And he's there for us, to love us, to just be with us. He waits for us in the tabernacle just to be with us. So we'll talk more about adoration, but I do think about it to see how in your life you can adore God, either in the tabernacle, in church. Oh, it's just wonderful to see people there, or in the Eucharistic adoration chapels where Jesus is exposed. God bless you now. I got to go to adoration myself now. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.